Amen.
The other author.
Sharon is co-host officially. I'm going to learn how Deb, I'm going to teach you up as backup too. Hello,
Well,
everybody.
my backup just came in, so Martha's on her way.
Martha's on her way. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Functioning from my phone. I'm breathing in, breathing out. Last minute technology issues. So thank you for your patience, y'all. 5 minutes into this hour. It is April 3rd. So we are here today to discuss a whole bunch of things. I tell you, yesterday was a whirlwind. There were so many things, top to bottom, to take advantage of to spring into health and spring into wellness. We're all ready for this new rebirth, refresh, right? Renew, revive, and everybody's ready for it, right? So
Yes.
Thank you for being here today. And Mary, who all do we have? Deb, Mary, Sharon, Brent. Yay. Our new Deb. Everybody welcome new Deb Swales. Were you here last week, Deb?
No.
Okay, this is new Deb Swales. And Martha she works with Martha. And y'all know Martha, Vision Board Martha. She is our queen vision boarder. Okay, hold on. Meeting is being recorded. Fine. Mary, it's so good to see you on camera today. And then we have Mary Gomat with us and another iPhone who I don't know. So Wendy is here as well, and she's got to go and do her volunteering. So she's going to share first before she leaves. But all right, so spring is in the air. Raise your hand if you're excited for refresh, rebirth, renew. Yes, revive. Of course, we're all excited about this. The first thing to cover is today, just to congratulate, we started the 90-day extraordinary life challenge with David Bush. That is not an Optavia event, but it is really an added, get to your next level event. You're still welcome to dabble with it if you'd like. If you want a free copy or if you don't have it, the ebook and the planner, do your own. Wendy is going to be DIY with the 90-day challenge. But Mary's going to jump in, Jane's jumping in, Roxy, Margot, and we're all going to actually do the weekly meetings and work the thing and work the workbook and do the deal. So if you're still interested in dabbling with it or thinking about it, let me know. And we'll help hold you accountable, to your own 90-day goal. Again, it's not health related. It could be personal, social, emotional, spiritual, whatever it wants to be, professional, and you can take your own self to the next level for 90 days. So let me know if you want more info on that. Just a couple other administrative, just reminders to you all, that the 27th, Dr. Anderson does his momentum tour, and they start going to 4 or 5 different locations live throughout the country. I did buy my ticket to that April 27th. I'm going to try to do some sort of, I'll just be getting back from vacation, but maybe we can do a watch party, or if you register, you can get the recordings of the lives that they're doing with Dan Bell. So that's happening. That Commit to Health Spring into Wellness discount ends up being $330 over the next 3 to 6 months. Savings, that's over the 12th. So just a little reminder there. Don't forget to grab a buddy, because you can split a box and figure out how to get the best savings. And let me know if you want more info on that. And all right, so those are the kind of admin things that I wanted to just mention. Let's see here. Yesterday we had at the top of the day, Monday night, we had the topic of element number 4. And what did we get out of element number 4? So we're going to talk about that today. I don't get to use my PowerPoint because it's on my computer, which I can't screen share with you because I'm on my phone. So we'll have to show you some stuff that I put up there last week. But let's talk about Monday night. What did we get out of element 4? That's my favorite element of the life book. The second thing is we had Dr. Anderson talking about emotional trauma and how to handle yourself, be conscious with your emotional trauma and how to handle your reactions and responses. And then thirdly, we had we had David Blanchard at night at 7 o'clock, which again, I said in the chat that I put out today, I would have paid $500 for that hour. It was beyond belief. So I'm excited to see what you guys got out of it. I woke up thinking today, I choose to, I want to, right? I get to, and it was brilliant. Got my card. So we'll talk about all that. So I am going to let Wendy talk first because she has to go do her volunteering, but I don't know. I know you saw, did you see Dr. Anderson, Wendy?
Yes.
Or did you see Monday night on Element
No,
4?
I just watched Dr. A yesterday at lunchtime.
Okay. What was your takeaway from his, the Conscious Leadership Forum? You have been doing this for a long time and living a healthy lifestyle, sustainably. And what was your takeaway?
Well, I took a couple really quick notes because he was talking about emotional trauma, and he started reminding everybody about the drama triangle. And when you're getting in a situation to look and identify where you're at, are you playing the victim, the villain, or the hero? And then he said more about the hero later when someone was telling their story, which was like making yourself feel less important than other people. Like that's how he identified like being the hero in one of the ways. And the one story I remember was the woman who said she had lost a lot of weight, but her personal image in her mind was that she still was a much larger person and she was having a hard time
getting over that,
internalizing it, even though like her husband would take pictures for her and she's just like, I can't. And the point I wrote about that was like going from shaming yourself or blaming or whatever and having a growth mindset pretty much. And this is like, I think applies to like almost anything you do. And what you just said about David Blanchard with the shoulds, whatever.
Yeah.
Try and move from the shame and blame and the things you're hiding about yourself to having a growth mindset. Drop the rock that's holding you down and switch to the, and he said, and this is all kind of out of order, but it all makes sense in a circle anyways. And his other point was, so build on the little steps of progress that you're making.
Yes.
And overall, be open, curious, and want to grow. Lead from the future you. And that's my in a nutshell.
Wow. You took a ton of notes.
No, I took one little page of little snippets, but that was the high points that
those are the little takeaways. Who's got shame and blame? Who shames and blames themselves? Yeah.
Probably.
Wendy, you said that thing you said about she was having trouble relating to who she was now after she lost a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
See, that happens, you guys, because we don't have the identity shift that we need to have internally in our hearts and in our heads when you don't have the identity shift. And I've seen this. I've actually seen this. So unfortunately, many times is that when people get to their goal, because they will, right? If they stick with it, they will get to their goal. But then what? If we haven't done the emotional, who's gained weight back after they reached a goal? Anybody? So the problem is we didn't master the mindset, the skill sets, right? The motivation to sustaining it. And at the end of the day, we haven't forgiven ourselves. It's our identity. It's our protective mode. And I have found that people, your extra weight can be like it's safety. It means you're safe to some people. And when they lose it, they don't know how to not be safe anymore. So it stimulates the amygdala constantly when you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't know yourself and you think, who is this person? This isn't who I know. It's stressful to your amygdala. And that's that amygdala hijacking, that fight or flight that always goes on. And it's extremely stressful. And that's why people revert back to overeating, going back to their old habits, because it's too stressful because they don't get to know themselves. So that's why it's critical to go through the whole book, not just the beginning of the book for weight loss. But Mary has read, Mary, you finally made it right through the whole life book. Are you on your first time or second time? You're on mute. Who's read the life book, actually read it, and or the Habits of Health book? Okay. The reason why we want to make sure we make it through the whole thing is because the end part, Mary, did you see at the end how it could have made a difference for you before when you were, needing, can you see now, retrospect? You're still on mute, Mary. Don't know how to get it off. Anyways, we can't hear you. But anyway, again, making it through the whole book is essential. Hi, Tom. Glad you're here. I see your little name there. In order to anchor those changes. Well, what else, Wendy? Did you have a win of the week or anything that you're going to do to apply what you learned to your life now that you're newly retired? And
not from Dr. A's talk necessarily. I'm still kind of following on. I haven't walked the last couple of days because of the weather and other things. But I thought it was funny because I decided to work on my internal environment. I started shredding a ton of paper on the other day when it said find a penny, and I found a penny under a whole pile of papers.
when we focus on it, it comes, right? I found pennies in my car. Who knew? I'd never seen them. They'd probably been there forever.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of funny.
Today on the scavenger hunt, we're supposed to be looking for rainbows, right? So rainbow. So see a rainbow. Who else watched Dr. A? Any takeaways from Dr. A for you guys? No? Sharon, did you have any? Mary G? One of the things I took away was that he talked about emotional people bring their real life. If you guys aren't on them, go to the YouTube channel and watch a slew of them, because people bring their real life challenges and their real life problems, and they talk to him directly. So you can get in queue to actually talk to him directly. And I love that about him, because he's making himself available just to whatever. I mean, he doesn't have a clue what anyone, what someone might say. But he addressed the fact that there are emotional traumas that may need some medical help, medical intervention, professional psychological intervention. He was talking about, like you said, Wendy, the emotional trauma of that we keep repeating and repeating and repeating in our brains. We just keep, and then David talked about that last night, how we're just on automatic pilot, reacting. Because we're playing on old messages and old emotional trauma, and reprogramming that emotional trauma is really important. And with the havening work I've been teaching you guys to do, this breathe and relax and regulate the parasympathetic site, that helps you to rewrite those traumas and to slow down enough so that you can actually stop. Right? Regulate your breathing, regulate your chemicals and your hormones, stop. And so you can challenge, and then you can choose. So we can rewrite those messages in our brain and react to them differently. But you have to be in the moment, learning each time it happens, in each moment. So that I appreciated him addressing the fact that we all have trauma in our lives, and we have to just work with one moment at a time. So anybody else have any? Deb, did you have anything to share or Sharon, now that you're off mute? Yeah.
Dr. A talked about consciousness. It's a state of being aware of one's thoughts and feelings. And the more we're becoming aware, we can manage ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Awareness. Yeah. Awareness. A lot of times we're on autopilot, like I said, and we're not aware that we're reacting or responding. So just taking that moment to be aware, stop, challenge, be aware. And even if you proceed to do the same thing you have done for the last several decades of your life, at least you are aware. And the win was the awareness. So the gap between stimulus and response is awareness. And we have all kinds of possibilities and opportunities in that space to make different choices. So anything else, Sharon, you got, or Deb, or anybody else from Monday, or
I'm way
Dr.
behind on the videos.
You're behind?
I am behind. I will get
Okay.
caught up though.
And you are aware of being behind, and that's
Yeah.
okay. And you're not behind, you're just right on track.
I think that, I mean, he did talk about needing to be right. That's something that I think, you know, I deal with face once in a while, and it's the ego
Yeah.
makes something up and we react.
We react. Yep. The ego is what reacts. Ego is the thing that's reacting, and it's not you. It's the pre-programmed way that you are, that you're emotionally, your brain has practiced so many times. So remember element 4, again, I don't have my PowerPoint, but element 4, remember, this is like the most powerful element in the entire book. If you can master awareness of being in the drama triangle and being aware of when you're a victim, villain, or hero, you're winning. That awareness is humongous. And
Can I
knowing,
ask, is that book the one that I'm getting?
yes, you're getting this, page 109.
All right.
You're page 109 in element 4, and then the empowerment triangle, flipping from villain, hero, victim to creator, challenger, coach. That was really the crux of that, and of this whole thing. He talked about, remember, they talked about shifting and drifting on Monday night. So remember that we will all drift below the line. You guys familiar with that in element 4? Living below the line in negativity, and I have to, I need to, catastrophizing. Again, David Blanchard talked about this last night in his $500 hour that he gave us. When we shift below the line, right, something happens. Okay, so this is page 122. Okay, something happens, we react to it poorly, and then we end up down there, boom, below the line in the drama triangle. Okay, all right, so we got to notice when this drift from consciousness and presence to drama triangle, notice when this drift is happening quicker. And the quicker you can notice, the faster that you're drifting south, then the quicker you can shift back up above the line to I want to, I get to, I need to, I'm empowered, I can do something, creation role. So let's hear from you guys. What role do you normally play, do you think, in your life? Deb, victim, villain, or hero? And let's hear from Mary, Deb, Margot, Sharon. What role do you normally play? Is there a seat that you're normally in? That's your kind of comfy chair. If it were musical chairs and you had 3 seats, which one would you be mostly sitting in?
My automatic would be victim.
You're a victim. Your automatic pilot.
That's my automatic. I have to fight that.
So notice when you're feeling victimized, being aware of that. And is there someone's physically victimizing you, or is it in your head somebody's saying something to you?
It's in my head.
Yeah. So what is that voice saying? And who is it? Do you know who it is? Is there someone saying?
It probably stems from my mother and my childhood. That was a long time ago for me to still be hanging on to it. So I'm
Right.
working.
And don't we all have those voices in our heads? When we're hearing mom, we're hearing dad, we're hearing teacher, we're hearing preacher, we're hearing our friend, we're hearing our sister, we're hearing, right?
Yep.
And we're allowing ourselves today in this moment to be controlled by whoever that is, right? So important to notice victims. So we got any other victims? Whose automatic pilot is victim? Anybody else? I know Mary G and Wendy's off because she's going to be leaving soon. But
The other Deb.
the other Deb,
Yeah.
Deb, what did you get?
I haven't seen it, but just in listening, to all of you, I would have to say I would be more of the victim too. It's like I get on defense if something happens, and sometimes I react in not such a kind way. And usually it's to more of your loved ones.
Poor me, pity party, and then you react and respond in a not so nice way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, I get that. I totally get that. It's a defense mechanism, right?
Mhm.
So the quicker we can notice that we're doing it, the faster we can stop ourselves, breathe, ask myself, who am I listening to right now? Challenge those thoughts. Can I make a different decision right now? Can I think differently? Can I do something differently and then make a different decision? Who's a victim? So we got a couple victims. Who's my hero? I'm a hero. My default is hero. Anybody else? Margot? Margot's a hero. Do you Sharon? Sharon's a hero default. Here I come to save the day. I'm gonna fix you and everything about you. I know you guys probably feel that way when we're on our coaching calls. I'm working on it. Truly. I am working on it. I got you. I know what you need. You need this, you need that. Well, you know what? I am aware and I'm learning to shut my mouth and ask you what it is that you need and how can I support you in that and allow you to be the one to, you know what I'm saying? Don't take it away from the person, that you're trying to hero, that they have their own faculties, they have their own resources, they can think for themselves. I don't have to just give them everything and tell them what to do. It's part of the problem with being a doctor and being a coach, because I just can't it's hard. Well, I can, it's difficult to shut that piece off. What about you, Margot? How do you hero people? When do you catch yourself heroing people? You're on mute, girlfriend.
Okay. I just want to help everybody. I want everybody to be okay. And when I feel like they're not hearing me, I get real frustrated with that. Because I want them to listen, because I know what they need. And that, I always think of someone who taught me this years ago, that when you are dealing with people, that there's a reason you have two ears and one mouth, because you should listen more than you talk. And it's true. And I want to talk more. I want to, as soon as they say they've got this going on, I want to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I can't solve it, it just tears me up.
Yep. Sorry, my computer came on. No idea why. Let me get out. See it?
It's breaking up.
Yeah, I need to get off. All right.
Love technology when it works.
I know. Okay, here I am. Okay. Now I'm echoing. Great.
That's interesting.
Oh, you missed the whole beginning grammar. Apparently, I'm on multiple times here. And now can you hear me?
Woo,
Yes.
that's better.
Yeah. Woo.
I was literally signed in 4 times and I was on 4 different meetings on one device. And then I was also on my phone. Don't ask me why. I have no idea.
What I was going to say in the hero role, the other part of that in wanting to fix everybody is I have a real thing about wasting time and negativity. I live on the concept of life is so short and I don't want to waste it on negative things. So I want everything to be positive and I want it to be good. And that's one of the reasons I get frustrated when I can't get somebody to listen, because I want them to understand tomorrow is not promised to us. So we've got to make the best out of today that we can. And that's what I strive to do. Doesn't always work, but I work at it.
Yeah, it's hard to be a hero when someone doesn't want to be saved.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Those are the hardest. Those are the hardest. Yeah, those are the hardest things when we have our heart of gold, and like Sharon is experiencing now, as she sees everyone she sees, she can't help but want to help them, and she's seeing all of the sickness and all the suffering, and life is too short, and so she's experiencing some of that too. Is that your default mode, Sharon? Hero? Yeah, you're still on mute too.
Yep, that's me.
Yep, hero.
Well,
And
there
now
she
go ahead.
All right. Anybody else have a takeaway from element? You're a victim, villain, hero. Who? Anyone else want to share their default mode? Tom's on. Yay! I hope he started again and he's back on track with both wheels. Mary G's probably at work walking. I'm not sure who iPhone is. Maybe that's Tracy, but nonetheless, I'm excited that everyone is here.
Mary was trying to say something,
Mary,
but she is muted.
She hasn't figured out how to get herself off of mute. All right, so let's talk about last night, Dave Blanchard, while Mary figures this out. Wow, wow, and wow. I would have paid money for that. If you have not seen it, go back. I would have paid good money for that. I sent you guys my card. I'm going to go back through all my notes, and I'm going to actually make a better card, make a more succinct card, because there was so much there. I talk a lot, so I'm going to let you guys have the stage. Who else watched last night? Sharon? Were you on Margot last night?
No, but was that in with all the community videos?
That it was Dave Blanchard. It was a special.
Okay.
It was an hour.
Okay, because I got Monday night, but I didn't get last night.
Yeah, you got it all. I forwarded it all to you. You just didn't know what you were looking at. You all have all 3. So make sure you go back and see the recording now, what you have today of Dave Blanchard. It was an hour. Anybody else on but me? Were you on? Mary was. Mary, if you can get off mute, that would be awesome. She has never. Wendy, were you on last night?
I just started watching it this morning. I'm going to finish it later.
Okay.
But it is great. He's been around a long time in
Oh yeah, he's
personal growth space.
Yeah. So if you don't know Og Mandino, he runs his organization. He's the guy who wrote The Best Salesman in the World, and he was the best, one of the first personal development coaches that there ever was back in the day. And so he's been running that. So he gave us an hour of his time for free. And this was really spectacular because he, again, gets paid big bucks for speaking and coaching and running this company. And he is now involved he's actually on 5 and 1. He is actually he's lost 40 pounds. He loves Dr. Anderson.
Wow.
He loves Dr. Anderson. He is loving fat burn. He loves the books. He loves the Habits of Health books. He's amazing. And he's applying everything he knows about leadership and personal development to and through the system. So with all the coaches, we have a separate group now to work with him, which is amazing, mind-blowing. But then they opened up for this public thing last night, and it was just beyond belief. So the real enemy to self-development, hint, it isn't you. And he's talked about everything we've been talking about, how the amygdala runs the show. You're pre-programmed in here in your brain. The bad news is you're pre-programmed. The good news is you can reprogram. Basically, he's just reiterating, right, what we said in a very eloquent way, what we've been saying. So our own enemy is that ego, and it's that learned personality. One of the things I got is that we do have a learned personality from our reactions in our brain that's pre-programmed. So when we, and I'm gonna use a Bible reference here. Forgive me if you don't believe this, but there is a scripture called "Putting on the New Personality," right? And if you're not a Bible reader, there's a scripture about putting on a new personality. Can we really change our personality? And the bottom line is, yes, you can put on a new personality, but you've got to do it emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, chemically. But it is possible to actually change your reactions and responses. So he talked about not living in fantasy, but living in or catastrophe. If we get stuck living in fantasy, we're in avoidance mode and escape mode, or we can get stuck over here living in catastrophe mode. Were you on last night, Sharon? Did you say you were? Steggy, you want to stay off mute? Yeah. Catastrophe mode. Who lives in catastrophe mode? Who thinks in catastrophe, or who thinks in fantasy? Mary Schobert's admitting to catastrophe.
I'm more fantasy.
Catastrophe.
Margot's fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, if and when it's going to be so beautiful, and when this happens, and I can see it now, and right, and it's gonna, right. That's fantasy, escape, or catastrophe. What are you, Deb? Catastrophe.
Catastrophe.
Yep.
Catastrophe.
Catastrophe. How about you, Deb? Where are you?
Oh, it depends on the day. I could go either way.
Yeah.
That's good.
I was just thinking that, but I think I live in fantasy because I spent so much time in catastrophe.
Yes,
And
I agree.
I got to a point where I couldn't tolerate catastrophe anymore. It was too negative and too wearing. So I switched to fantasy to believe it's always going to be okay somehow.
Right.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah, and it's a coping mechanism, guys. And our amygdala is smart. It's our primitive brain. It needs to keep us safe. We have to give ourselves personally a break, because our brain is trying to keep us safe from dying. And that's the amygdala's job, is to keep you alive. Get your hand off the hot stove, keep you away from danger, run if there's a gunshot. That's the amygdala. That's what's controlling your personality. And it's really profound. So I lived in catastrophe because my dad lived I learned catastrophe as a child, and then I went and got $500,000 of debt and all my degrees and my business and all this. And then every morning I woke up in catastrophe. Like, oh, if I fail, all I could think about was when I failed, what would happen, and it was and I was a constant fight or flight, constant sympathetic stimulation, reacting. I don't think I ever made a conscious decision in my whole life, quite frankly, until the last 3 years. I don't think I made conscious decisions ever. I think my show was being run by my amygdala. Truly, I was just, Margot worked with me for 15 years. I was in react mode all that time.
Yeah.
And so, and I know that's why I got all my sicknesses and cancers and illnesses and lovely health problems. And I had to sell my business and figure it out. And in the last 3 to 5 years, I figured this out, and it is all in here. That's all it is. And we can change it around. Painful? Yes. Easy? No. But worth it? Absolutely. There's no question. I can't even tell you who I am now. I don't even know who I am on most days. I look in the mirror and go, I got to put on this new personality, and I got to put in this identity now and reprogram my new identity, because everything has changed so much. So really, really appreciated that point. And then you have a dream and you have a goal. So like Martha taught us, and Deb and Martha, we have our vision boards, right? We have our vision boards. We made those. We have a dream. We have a goal, and everybody's got that. And that's okay. And that's great. And we can even have deadlines. We can have dates that we want to have things by. But he said very profoundly, you can't live in those boards. You have to live in the current reality today. You can't just fantasize that that is all going to happen and you live in this la la land. Does that make sense? Oh, I was like, duh,
Yeah.
right? You have to live in reality. If you have to foreclose on your house because that's reality, you know, if you have zero money in the bank, that's reality. You can't live in la la land.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Margot knows she's had bankruptcy, right? Who's lived,
Yep.
you know? So when we look at our vision boards, which we should, we can, they're programming our brains to look for those things, like the penny, who found the penny, who found the rainbow, right? When you tell Razzie in your brain, your reticular activating system, that you're looking for a penny, guess what? You find the penny. It's ridiculous. If you're looking for a rainbow, you're going to see a rainbow. So they work for that reason, because they trip your wires in your brain. So keep them. But he was saying, don't live in them. You have to be in reality and make realistic goals too. Small. So Sharon, did you want to share about
Yeah.
how
Oh.
he
Well, he said, let go of desire for ease and stress to go away.
yes.
That, you know, because that's how we grow, really.
At the end of the day, everybody just wants to what? Have an easy life, and what was it, Sharon?
Let go of desire for ease and stress to go away.
Yeah. We all want ease in our lives and stress to be gone. So he said, let go of the desire for that, because it's never going to happen as a human being on this planet. There's always going to be stress, and there's always going to be, right? On this planet right now, the way it is, there's always going to be stress. And we're always going to wish things were easier. Well, in my opinion, Adam and Eve screwed that up for us a long time ago.
Amen.
Right? We wouldn't be picking weeds if it weren't for Adam and Eve. Right? We wouldn't be slaving away, right? But anyway, whole nother story. But I tell you, it makes perfect sense, because if we think everything is bad, what was it, Sharon? He said, you got to let go of thinking things are a burden and an obligation. Was that it?
Oh,
Any other notes on that subject?
oh, I guess I don't see that, but
I grabbed onto those
you
things.
got it.
When we wake up every morning, what's the first thought you guys think of when you wake up in the morning? Is it, I have to, I should to, I need to, if I don't, something might happen? Is it one of those things? No?
It's more, oh, I'm here.
Oh, I'm alive. Yours is I'm alive.
I'm alive.
Benny, what's your first thought in the morning?
It's like, oh, I'm just so happy. I'm happy. I'm awake. I can get up, and I
That's so
get
great.
up.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people hate me. If they believe you, they hate me in the morning.
What about you, Deb? What about you, Mary? Debs?
Well, I always have to say that, oh, I better get up, you know.
I have to get up.
I better get up.
Get up.
Oh,
Right?
no.
So, and Deb, what about you, Marley?
Sometimes I just want to go back to sleep.
Oh, I don't want to get up.
And sometimes I just jump up ready to face the day, happy to be awake.
Good.
Good. Well, I can safely say, I woke up for every morning in my life being in catastrophe. I have to, I need to, I should to, I've got to, you know, that sort of thing. And it was all a negative burden obligation, you know, attitude. He was saying, if we shift to, I guess what? I woke up like Betty and Sharon. Guess what? And Margot, I woke up
Yeah.
today. Life
Yes.
is good.
I know it.
I get to live another day. I want to, I get to, right? And I woke up thinking that today, and I have the last several months been waking up that way. The last several months thinking, I get
Good.
to see my girls today. I get to, who am I going to help today? Right? I get to
Yeah.
help people today, and I get to provide
Good.
hope and health and healing and happiness. And
Yeah.
I get to, and coming from that place is, you got to understand, totally foreign for me. I am not, this is completely opposite the way I've lived my entire life. So
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
yeah, literally my entire life. In my childhood, I would wake up in a panic. Oh, I have to this, have to that, or someone's gonna be mad, or someone's not. I gotta fix someone, or I gotta fix something. I gotta hero something. Right? It's a terrible way to exist. And so I love this whole idea of having those simple words to say. And he said to write it on a card, and I won't redo the whole thing, but I will obey my commands. I will command myself. I will obey them, and I will act now. Those are the other three things that you'll get out of this. So,
Good.
and we can live our inspired dream. We can live our passion-driven, created life with 4 simple steps. That was another profound thing that I got out of
Good.
it.
Good.
Be decisive, know what you want, why you want it, how, you know, and kill off all the other options. You know, Betty has decided she is gonna be a healthy person no matter what. There are no other options.
That's true. That's true.
I get that, Betty.
Yeah, she is going to practice optimal health no matter what. No going back, right, Betty?
Exactly. Exactly.
The other
And
options don't exist.
Yeah.
yeah, you have to.
I have to say, I think when I wake up in the morning, I always wake up going, thankful for another day and thankful I'm in my own bed and not a hospital bed.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Been there, done that, never, not more, done, gone.
Yes, I have too. I have
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great way. That's a great way to wake up, right?
Mhm.
It
It's
is.
like a new present. You get up, it's a new present every
Every
day.
day is a new gift. Yep.
Every day
Look
is a
what
present.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look what I have. Oh, goody, it's snowing. Oh, goody, it's gloomy.
Oh,
Oh, goody, it's sunny. I don't know. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I'm loving being like Betty and Margot now, living this way, because it is it's a new thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really fun being and being an intentional creator. I loved his steps. I don't know, chime in anytime you want to share, Sharon. Being an intentional creator, 1 millimeter at a time. Identify what the next millimeter improvement will be for you toward your dream. 1 millimeter.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah. Oh, Mary, you figured out how to get off.
Yes, I did.
Good.
Good. Well, yeah.
Well-
Tell me what you got out of that. How to be an intentional creator.
Well, he said your dream is your target, okay? But if you live in a fantasy land and you're manifesting and you think manifesting is going to get you to your dream, it's not going to happen. But the reality is the truth where you really are. And if you have fun creating your life, then you will have more fun. You won't be worried about the dream. It'll become a passion for you. So you need to identify your millimeters of whatever it is, your inspired idea. You have an inspired idea. And he gave the example that him and his wife go to bed at night at 9 o'clock. And then they do podcasts, or then they talk about their inspired dreams and that kind of thing. And then he starts to create it. And so then they identify the millimeters to create that from their inspired idea. They execute it and then they celebrate it. So he was celebrating his 42 pounds that he had lost. And he had mentioned that he had a birthday party to go to. And he knew that there was going to be chocolate cake there. The chocolate cake was going to have bits of chocolate and everything. But because he desired it, but he had intentionally made the decision on Sunday night that then when they go to the birthday party, they were not going to have the cake.
Yeah.
So he executed it. And even though people had asked him if he wanted the cake, he could celebrate it because he was losing the weight. So, and he said, it's like 4 days in fat burning. I'm not going to ruin that. So
Yeah.
he said, that's how he made his decision. And so then once he made the decision, he cut off any other options. Did that describe it?
Ah, Mary, bravo.
So,
Bravo. You took great notes, girl.
well, I listened to it twice.
Oh, you listened to it
It
twice?
was so good.
The root word of decide is suicide, to kill off, right? Any other options. And we've talked about
Yep.
that. It's kind of like when you get married, you're killing off all your other options.
Yep.
Yeah.
You mentioned that one too.
Yeah. Yeah. And his wife. Yeah. He talked about his wife. He's like, I only
Mhm.
see this one person. This is my decision, right?
Yep.
And I only see me as a healthy, happy, sustainably healthy, happy, balanced person. That's it. There are no other options. I don't, the you know,
So
I
his morning is that fundamental decision. So he changes his attitude, because if you say it like I want to, I need to, I get to, I choose to, and you don't have any enthusiasm behind it, you're never going to change your attitude.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah.
right. You can say it one way, or you can say it the other.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
Oh, Mary, that was great. That
Oh, I
was
don't-
great.
I don't know.
That was great. How does that help you personally, Mary? Because you've been like,
Oh,
you've been struggling with your own behavior and your own stuff, right? Over this
My-
last 4
I-
years since I've known you, right?
Yes, I've been my own villain, my own saboteur, my own victim, all
Mhm.
of that. So I
Mhm.
think the fact that you say you want to, you get to, you choose to, and I will obey my own command,
Yep.
and I will act now. And if I repeat that enough times, I think in a day it's going to help.
Yes.
It is.
Oh, absolutely. I'm redoing my card. No
Mhm.
question. And here's
Yeah.
the thing I love about Mary, you guys, and you should, can I share a little bit about you? Mary?
If you want.
So Mary, I've known for what, 4 years, or is it
At
5?
least, yeah.
Yeah, something in that area, right? When she first started, when I was just starting, and we were starting in this together. And she's been up, she's been down, she's been on, she's been off. She's been broken a
Right.
knee, she broke a leg, she had to get back, she got back on the bike several times. And she was just always struggling, and she knew it was in here. Was she finally made the decision that she's going to read that life book. And something happened in her life. She had here's what's happening. Here's what I want. She made a decision.
Good.
She's read that freaking life book. I still haven't even read the entire Habits of Health book. She read the entire Habits of Health book. I still haven't even made through every page. She decided. And now, like, she signed up for the 90-day Extraordinary Life Challenge with
Yes.
David Bush. Like, whoa, who is this person?
I know. Who is this person? I'm even on camera today.
I know. I'm like, you're on camera? What's going on? Like, I don't know this Mary. Who is this? But she's decided, she's identified her millimeters. She has had some inspired ideas, and she's creating it now. And then we're celebrating her because she's actually walking the talk. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Again. I don't know. But so I here, let me get. I need to do. Anyway, I celebrate you, Mary. I think you're doing a phenomenal job, and you're creating your passion-driven life now. Yep, and I can see the joy that you're having. Can't you?
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, now she's muted.
She's muted again.
I tell you what, I don't know what's going on with my Zoom today. My internet, it must be my internet connection, you guys.
No, I think there's been a definite switch went off after I read the book.
Yeah.
And I know that I want to get through phase 1 to get to phase 2 to get to ultra health. So, I mean, those are goals. Those are dreams.
Yep,
So.
you got to go through phase 1 to get to phase 2 and ultra health and then phase 3. But now you see the path and you can do.
Yep.
What I really loved is I love the idea of look at the millimeter, and he talked about getting out of debt. You know what? I say $50, put it to the credit card. That's a millimeter. If I have $5,000 in debt, or whatever. It's just focus on the 1 millimeter, one day at a time, be inspired by it, right? Create something new, do something different, and then celebrate it. And you can keep doing that over and over and over again. And it's then you start having fun because you see progress on a day-to-day basis with your 1 millimeter commitments. So that's like the micro habit idea. The more we, employ micro habits and we just celebrate the wins when we have those micro habits, those little small baby wins every day done consistently over and over and over again is what's going to get you, out of debt, or it's going to get you back into the size you want. And sustainably, you're going to keep it there. It's just the little teeny things, but we've got to celebrate and have fun. That was my favorite part of it. Takes courage, right? It takes courage and commitment, but celebrating it is really important. We miss that. We beat ourselves up. I do classically. I beat myself up way too much. Anybody else beat themselves bloody?
See, I'm sorry. Anyone else see themselves what?
Beat themselves up.
Oh, I was today. And I really appreciate hearing Mary, because it's like, there's a girl on their way for success because she said, I did this, I did that, but I did something about it. And now when she walks down that path, ooh, nasty hole. She doesn't have to fall in that hole. She can go around it. She can pick a different road. If she doesn't know how to do it, I will find a way to get around it. And that's real powerful. And that's what we need to hear from each other too. That anyone else can be whiny. But, well, no, I appreciate that. I needed to hear that today. I'm kind of down today. I lost a grandma that I share. I've lost since January. I've lost 2 of my grandmas. One grandma that I share with 2 kids, and then the other grandma Monday that I share with the other 2 kids. And they were both in such pain and with such cancer and stuff that I know it's like I'll be with them again. I know that, but part of me is selfish and saying, but I won't see him at the kid's birthday party, And so I need to say, no, they're in a better place. They're celebrating, they're happy. And I'm happy for them that they're doing good. And
we have to allow for that grief. I know Deb Marley's had a lot of grief lately too. And so is Sharon, and we have to allow those feelings and move through them, but at the same time, not allow them to control our behaviors.
Exactly.
And so
not do that because you're feeling sad.
Feeling them without reacting and responding. So that's a huge win, Betty. That's a huge win. Do you feel like you did you do that, or did you start emotional eating, or what happened?
No, I did not. I did. In fact, yesterday I said, you're going to be more on a fast type thing. And so I was very careful to fast in that wait your 2.5 to 3 hours. I grab a couple of nuts now and then if I need something. No, if you want some nuts, you measure them out and you eat them at appropriate time. I was very careful yesterday because I could have easily walked by and, just grab something. Oh, no. I knew that I couldn't do that yesterday. So I was very careful and very careful today. I've been on a strict,
Dr. Anderson talked about that yesterday on the leadership forum. He said, you know what, when you're vulnerable, when you know you're vulnerable, when you know you're tired, when you know you're grieving, when you know you're vulnerable, you put your radar on.
Yeah.
And
I wrote it down. Yeah.
Yeah. You become extra aware on those days.
Yeah.
And
I jotted down what I was going to, it's 10 o'clock. You're going to have this at 12. You're going to have that. It's there. Oh, go look at it. There's no mind, no mindless. Oh, what do I want? But I don't want chicken soup. I
Right.
don't know. It's chicken soup's down. Okay, it's in the refrigerator. All you have to do is heat it up,
I wrote it down. It's gonna happen. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh.
Did anybody else have a win of the week or skin need? You know what, Deb Swales, your win of the week, showing up, being here. Your box hasn't arrived yet, but you're already in the game. This is a huge win.
Yes.
How
yes,
do you? And since we started talking and we actually met, I got to meet them, and I was going to share that photo with you today because I got to meet her in person and Martha, and we have a photo together. So I'm going to share it with you guys. But Deb, what wins have you had since you just got started in the conversation? Is there anything you'd like to share?
Well, I know that I do want to watch now the Element 4 and David Blanchard in
Yes.
that. This sounds very interesting, and where I can apply a lot of what you ladies have said, because I relate a lot to what you've said to it. And it's funny because I picked myself as a victim, but if you kind of look at it, I'm kind of like all three of them, really.
Yeah.
It's like split personality
Times.
Musical chairs, right? Musical chairs.
Yes, yeah. Which do I want to be today?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
no, I'm getting very motivated, and I've even brought out my scale today and measured my chicken.
Wow.
Oh,
Good for you. Good for you.
Here's me and
Great.
Martha and Deb. I don't know if you can see this.
Nice.
Here's me and
Oh,
Martha and
great.
Deb.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Good for you, Deb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bravo. Well, I know
Thank you.
Brent and Tom are being out, they're kind of voyeuring in the weeds here today, but these dudes are doing a great job. They're getting their wheels back on track, and they're here showing up to learn how to create their lives intentionally and nail it and sustain it just like we are. And it's just, all of us are in this together. And so the more people around you and that you surround yourself with that are in this game of lifelong lifestyle transformation, no dieting allowed, right? We've got to master the mindset. That is our game. And we're in the bus, we're all in the right bus, and we're on the right road.
Yes.
We just got to remember to stay on the bus.
Yes.
We're going into the right destination, right? So I'm thrilled that you guys are all here. Don't miss watching that. I literally would have paid $500 for it. It was so gold. So watch it.
wow.
It
Okay,
was
good.
gold. Yeah, gold. Yeah.
I have to say, from Monday night and yesterday over the noon hour and all of that, it reminded me, and I got to share, it reminded me of a great quote. And that is the one that says that yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. And that's why
Yeah.
we call it a present.
Oh, that's cute.
That's
I like
great.
Yeah.
I
You
like
all,
that.
my
It's
present.
living in the present. It's dreaming about tomorrow, but living in the present. And I got more of that this week than I have in a very long time, and really appreciated it.
I
You
like
all,
that.
you all are my presents. Mwah.
Yeah.
And I thank you so much for being in my life and being on this journey with me. And we're all learning and growing. So
Yes.
you have a wonderful day,
Yeah.
and let me know what you got out of the sessions,
Yeah.
and listen to all your recordings. Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
See you
everybody.
guys.
So long. Hello.